Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobby Capucci, and this is Daily Drop number 37. And for tonight, what we have on tap is some more about our good buddy Prince Andy. Yeah, you know, the lovable Prince Andy, the Andy I had no idea, the Andy I did nothing, the Andy I don't even know that girl, the Andy, those are not my fingers, they're too fat. That Andy. You might know him better as a Prince of the Blood, a Prince of Windsor, a Prince of England. But on this show, we know him as a very, very sketchy character. And Virginia Roberts lets him have it on 60 Minutes Australia. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. The article is from the Daily Mail. Like usual, you will be able to find the link in the description. That way you can go and check it out yourself. All right, let's see what we have. Virginia Roberts has hit out at Prince Andrew, saying she is sick of hearing his lame excuses. Meh, she ain't the only one. We're sick of hearing his lame excuses as well, right? How long have we been talking about that? This knucklehead and his silly excuses, enough is enough. After friends close to the royal claim the photo of him posing with her as a teenager is fake. In an explosive interview with 60 Minutes Australia on Sunday, Roberts spoke out about her life as Jeffrey Epstein's sex slave and described in detail how she was trafficked to the Duke of York when she was 17. Prince Andrew has repeatedly denied the accusations, calling them false and without foundation, and saying any suggestion of impropriety with underage minors is categorically untrue. Okay, so it's your word, which I highly doubt we should even be taking at this point, considering you basically are lying about the pictures. We know that that's BS. The FBI thinks that the pictures are real. Everybody who looks at the pictures thinks that they're real. The spin doctor has already quit. You know, come on, Princey boy. During the interview, Roberts pulled out the infamous photo of her with the prince that she says was taken the night she had sex with him. This photo has been verified as an original and has since been given to the FBI, and they've never contested that it's a fake, she said. I know it's real, and he needs to stop with all of these lame excuses. We're sick of hearing it. Amen, sister. We are sick of hearing it. You know, it's pretty awesome to see her finding the courage to come out and speak the way she is against these people. I mean, hasn't this poor girl been through enough? Now you have these people, not only did they allegedly traffic her and abuse her, but now they're just dragging her name through the mud? When's enough enough? When has it been enough? When have the elite done enough? This is a real photo. That's the very first time I met him. In August, Prince Andrew's legal team cast doubt on the veracity of the photograph, saying he has absolutely no recollection of it being taken. Yeah, okay. Sure you don't. Just like the photos were staged, right? At Central Park. They weren't staged. You were there, cavorting with your buddy Epstein. You guys have been homies. You probably would still be friends if he was still alive. Who knows what you were involved with him besides that. But to act like you didn't know anything is just absolutely, positively ridiculous. Sources close to the prince also questioned whether the photo was real, pointing out that his fingers don't look right. Again, his fingers don't look right. Okay. Roberts went on to describe the events leading up to her alleged first sexual encounter with Andrew, which she said started when she was taken to a club in London. We went to Club Tramp. He danced with me, and he sweats a lot, and he smells funny. And then we get in the car, and Maxwell tells me in the car that I have to do what I do for Jeffrey for Prince Andrew. And that's when I learned what was going to happen. Roberts claims she had sex with Andrew 3 times, once in London, another time at Epstein's New York City mansion, and again at Epstein's private island in the Caribbean. During one occasion, she claimed about 8 other girls were present. She said that she did not have any conversations with Andrew beyond their alleged sexual encounters and described feeling disgusted each time. Now again, think about this for a minute. Think about it. Imagine this was your sister, your mom, your wife, your daughter, somebody close to you, And this powerful cabal puts the screws to them the way they're doing. And we see it all the time. This is what they do. Oh, she's a drug addict. Oh, she's a prostitute. Oh, she's this, she's that. In reality, none of it's even true. I mean, these people are they have so much money and they're so sick when it comes to defending their quote unquote good name that there is nothing they will not do. You're not even acknowledged as being alive, or there, or important, or cared for. None of those human emotions were attached to me when I was trafficked to Prince Andrew. Ugh. I mean, come on, man. You're the Prince of England. You have to have trafficked girls. You can't pay for a prostitute, somebody that actually, is A, of age, and B, is going into the deal, as a business transaction. You can't do that if you have to be, if you have to step out on your wife. This is what you have to do. You have to children and trafficking and hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. This is what princes do, huh? Must be nice. Must be nice to be able to do whatever you want in the world, huh? Do whatever you want. No repercussions, nothing. You can do whatever you want. And if you get caught, all you have to do is say the person that is accusing you is a liar. And you're going to be believed because you're the prince, right? And she's just some nobody girl. She was some towel girl. Just some towel girl. Just a throwaway, right? There wasn't one time that I was trafficked to any individual that I thought, he's an okay guy. No. I was always disgusted, and there were so many people involved in this highly organized sex trafficking operation. All right, this is from her mouth, folks. Okay, let me read that again. I wanted to settle in for those in the back who aren't listening very clearly, okay? For those who are still questioning what's going on. For those who think that this was anything besides an intelligence-run operation where this man was able to pull this off for so many years. All right? I'm going to read it again. I was always disgusted that there were so many people involved in this highly organized sex trafficking operation. That was from her mouth, not mine. Prince Andrew has been dragged into the allegations surrounding pedophile Jeffrey Epstein after Roberts famously claimed she had sex with him in a 2015 lawsuit, which ended up being struck out by a U.S. judge for being immaterial and impertinent. Yeah, because of, immaterial, it means nothing. That had nothing to do with the case that she was, trafficked and raped by this dude. I mean, but it couldn't be him though, right? Right? There's just no way, because his fingers aren't that fat. There's just no way it could be him. The royal was also photographed with billionaire pedophile in Central Park just a few years after Epstein was convicted of soliciting an underage girl in 2008. During the emotional interview, she also returned to the New York City mansion where Epstein first took her almost 20 years ago when she was held captive by the pedophile. It's hard. It's really hard being back here. There's a lot of scars hidden behind those walls, she said, fighting back tears. It should be ripped down. It should be burned. Some of my worst memories are from this place. Roberts described the moment she was recruited as a teen by Maxwell, who told her she was looking to hire a masseuse. She just seemed very nice, and she said, I've got a person that I know who's actually looking for a traveling masseuse, and if you want, I can get you an interview with him. If he likes you, we can get you educated, you'll be a real masseuse, and you'll get to travel and see the world. She made it sound like it was a dream come true, and it wasn't. I was trafficked to other billionaires, I was trafficked to politicians, professors, even royalty. It was the elite of the world. It was the people who run the world. It was the most powerful people in the world, she added. All right, listen, guys. Girls, everyone out there, this is her saying it, okay? So, do we believe all women? Isn't that the mantra, right? Well, certainly I've never been of the mind of, I just believe people blindly. But it's not like she's showing up without receipts. She has pictures. She has dates. She has times. She knows all the other people. She knows she knows everything. So how in the world can ABC cover this story up? How dare they? How dare they? This girl deserves justice. All of these girls deserve justice. What they don't deserve are for the news organizations like ABC, CBS, and the rest of the scum that inhabits those places to close ranks around each other and, weed out the whistleblower who wasn't even the right whistleblower. They can't even get that right. Roberts believed Epstein used her as a form of blackmail, saying he always have something on someone just in case he needed it. Bang, boom, point blank, period. Exactly what we said from the very beginning. Anybody who is saying any different does not truly understand what they're talking about, okay? So if you listen to other people talking about the story and the intelligence angle isn't even being brought up, well, either A, they're running some sort of psyop or some sort of something to muddy the waters, or B, they just don't know what they're talking about, because there is no way, listen to me clearly, folks, there is no way this man, he was active in a vacuum. There is no way he was committing these crimes without being protected. We've heard it now, not only from the victims, but from Acosta. Fellow Epstein victim Courtney Wild also told how she was plucked from a Florida trailer park at 14 and taken to perform massages on Epstein in 2001. And now remember, Glenn Dubin likes to talk about massages as well, and that was the code word with these sickos for sex with these underage girls. Massages. I knew I was coming here to give a guy a massage and to make $200. I did know that, she told 60 Minutes. It was never told to me that I would be molested by this man or anything like that, she said. I remember afterwards how I felt, walking down the stairs. I felt so dirty, like a piece of me had been taken. It was like my dirty little secret, In addition to being one of his victims, Wild was also in charge of bringing in new girls for Epstein. She admitted she recruited at least 50 girls between the ages of 14 and 16. Guys, 14 and 16, think about it for a minute. Just getting into high school, 14 years old, freshman in high school. And these sick sons of bitches, trailer parks, girls who were down in the lower rungs amongst society, girls that didn't have much, girls that were completely and utterly vulnerable. Not only did he abuse them, he had other women involved to do his dirty work. All right? They're not madams. They're not anything besides molesters and enablers, okay? You can tell his addiction wasn't drugs or alcohol. It was young girls, she said. If I couldn't bring him a girl when he couldn't get his obsession, he just would get so mad. She added, I just hold a lot of guilt and shame for doing those things, and just to know that I had any influence on that happening to somebody else, it's just devastating. It breaks my heart. Look, like I said before, I have empathy for these girls that were procured and recruited and groomed at 14, 15 years old and then set out on the path of bringing other girls in. I don't believe that they should get the kind of sentence that Maxwell should get, but I do believe that they need to face some sort of punishment, unfortunately. It's definitely a slippery slope, and it's a two-edged sword. So I really, it's hard to want to come down on people like Courtney Wild, who was not only recruited and abused, but then in turn did the same thing. So it's really hard to have a position that you want to come down firmly on someone like this, right? It's really difficult. It's a difficult place to be in. Roberts had previously provided the FBI with photos that prove she traveled around the globe with Epstein. In one, she is seen on a New York City ferry, while others show her horse riding and posing up in front of a museum treasure chest. Those 3 photos were taken by Epstein himself, she claims, when he shuttled her to New Mexico for the weekend, all the while raping her and letting his friends do the same, according to Roberts' lawsuit. Wow. Epstein took me on a ferry boat on one of the trips to New York City, and there he took the picture above. I was approximately 15 or 16 years old at the time, she writes of the first photo. In that picture, Roberts looks years younger than her age as she smiles for the camera, while on an unchaperoned trip with Epstein and Maxwell over 1,000 miles away from home. Like I said previously when we touched on that, there is zero chance my daughter is going anywhere with anyone that's not my blood or somebody I trust explicitly. All right? There are so many sick people on this planet. We see it day in and day out. Why would you let your daughter go anywhere with these people? Money does not mean that somebody is a good person. Plenty of rich people are not good people. All right? We're seeing it right here. So if you're out there and you have these ideas that, oh yeah, everyone's good, I'm going to look for the best in people. Well, you're wrong if you're doing that, letting your kids go around with strangers 1,000 miles away. Big mistake. You can see how young I looked in the photograph, she notes, while also claiming she was raped by Epstein and had his Manhattan mansion on that trip. Over the next few weeks, Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell trained me to do what they wanted, including sexual activities and the use of sexual toys, she wrote. The training was in New York and Florida at Epstein's mansions. It was basically every day and was like going to school. I also had to have sex with Epstein many times. Robert said that she was trained to be everything a man wanted me to be. She and another underage victim are suing the government for the sweetheart plea deal they offered Epstein and for failing to provide the plaintiffs and other victims with any concrete information about the sex offender. In her case, Roberts did in fact get a letter from the FBI, but not until long after the plea deal had been negotiated and Epstein's non-prosecution deal was signed. That letter is attached as an exhibit in one filing and shows it was mailed in September, more than 2 months after Epstein signed off on his deal in June. All right, so that right there is completely improper by the federal government. First of all, they're supposed to let these people know of what the deal is with the case. This is a sex offender case. All right? And they didn't do that. Why? Why didn't they do that? And now, why wouldn't the judge just completely throw that immunity deal out? Does this need to go all the way to the Supreme Court? Or are one of these judges going to take a stand and say enough is enough? I've had enough. These elite are sick, they're disturbed, they're depraved, and they've been preying on the rest of us since time has begun. All right? This scam has been old since Babylon has been young. And enough is enough. All right, we can overlook the criminality of the government. We can overlook them being grifters. We can overlook the fact that most of them go in there and they don't have very much money, and when they come out, they're mega rich. We can overlook all of that. But what we cannot overlook and what we will not overlook is you hurting women and children and thinking you're going to get away with it. It's not going to happen. All right? It's over. The party's over for you people. The nonsense is over. The curtain has been pulled back. And now you're all scurrying like cockroaches, aren't you there, Prince Andy? All right, folks. I hope everybody had an incredible weekend. I hope you guys all have a nice holiday. And we will be back with another Daily Drop tomorrow.